Robots Radio presents...
Previously on Ambrosia Island.
Listen, if I'm going to be honest, I didn't realise how deep this was going to be going.
What?
Why is he speaking
What is
with
happening?
an English accent?
I got nothing.
Pierre's not using his cane. You like to roll to see if you notice?
Not going to challenge him, just like I've noticed that.
Secrets at any cost, eh?
I would not mind having a look at your city and maybe meeting my old friend Joan as well.
Daniel's given you the address for Joan's apartment as well. Third person enters, and a fourth,
Also in
and a
black?
fifth. They're all dressed in black. You see a flash of his knife.
Rest in peace!
I'm actually going to remove the knife from the top of my
I
cane.
knew it!
How much are you on?
I'm on 3.
And it seems to be the same words that you heard.
No, I would not recommend that. No, please don't do that.
His eyes start to glow.
I told you all, I got this!
Thing slowly shrivels and bursts.
Well, I rather think it's time for some honesty.
And now,
As the train continues along its path, the three of you, face bloodied, exhausted, panting, look over at Pierre. Or is it Pierre? As he sits on the ground and looks up at you.
Maybe I took one too many hits to the head there, but what the fuck was that, Pierre?
It's not a bad question.
All right then. I think you've got something to explain. But in the meantime, I think we should see these lads off to their final journey, as it were. Sean, does this train have the tracks that we're on? It's ground? Does it have windows?
There are windows. There is the space between carriages.
Oh, that's a good spot for dumping bodies. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
The windows don't open. They are set.
They're all dead, right? Didn't we kill them all?
Yes.
One ran off down the train.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll dump bodies then.
So while this revelation has happened, Pierre is about to start talking, potentially. John, rather
Practically.
wordlessly, silently, starts to gather bodies, one by one. And which entrance are you... Which side are you going to? The south end of the train or the north end of the train?
Well, they came from which end?
Both. But the one that ran away went towards the south.
Well, then the south. But yeah, the father would give attention. He won't just ignore. He'll go on, go on. But I have things to do.
I'm still listening.
I'm
I
still
am
listening.
listening.
Just cleaning some bodies.
Every so often we have to just
No, I mean,
shuffle out the way.
I mean, I don't think Pierre's sitting there waiting patiently to begin
His dramatic reveal.
No, he probably gets up or makes a move to go and help with the bodies, but imagine is Father John just going to get on with it and sort of say, I got this.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Make sure you search them.
Oh yeah, good call.
Yeah.
All right. He'll also pat them down while he's doing that.
I mean, two of them have the knives that they dropped.
actually, that's a good. Yeah. So he'll pass knives out.
Got someone's blood on it.
Wipe it down. No problem there.
I mean, there is blood all over Father John, on his face. Blood on pretty much all of you, because at least all of you killed someone. There's blood on your boot, Pierre.
yeah.
I did not.
Who's got it on their face?
I did not kill anyone. I just landed the single punch.
I
That
would-
was my contribution.
I'd imagine there'd be a lot of blood on my face, not only from having someone skewered in front of me, but also being punched in the nose and probably a few gashes.
Yone's the only one that doesn't really have a lot of blood on him. Pierre has both blood and now burn marks.
Yeah.
I think maybe I've got a bit of a shiner.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
Well, Pierre probably got a little pocket square or something, and he hands it to Mena. It's going to be more useful for you now. It's not going to be much use on the old tire tracks.
What? Shut up. I'll take it. Thanks.
The name's Stanley Burgess.
Okay.
All right, Stanley. And so why are you? Well, then, how much of you was real?
There are elements of Pierre's story that are similar to mine. We were both in the war. I was with British intelligence. I played the part of a French defector going over to the German side, passing information to the oppressors. But in fact, I was feeding information to the Allies.
It sounds like something from some kind of silly story.
Were you trying to think of an author that would be around at that time?
I just kind of went for... I was trying to not be too on the nose about saying, hey, that sounds like a spy novel.
Sounds a lot like Johnny Gunhand's story, Spy of the War.
I kind of like this idea that Stanley is kind of relishing revealing the story a bit. There is the kind of he is an actor after all. He is a bit of a
Of course, darling. Actually, that's a point. I couldn't bum a ciggy off of any of you, could I? I can't stand these things. He throws away the Jatan.
You are welcome to have a little puff on the pipe.
If you wouldn't mind, that would...
Get it started. It's going to take a
At
while.
this point, the door has opened, and John is rather unceremoniously but methodically dumping bodies over.
Quick little prayer as they go over.
Yeah, they didn't have anything on them. They had... One of them had a Zippo lighter.
Oh, nice.
Another had the knives, as you said. But other than that, they've been fairly nothing on their person.
Did any of them have a ticket?
No ticket.
You guys didn't have tickets.
Oh.
Well,
It's free. It's a free
we're
train.
alive.
Yeah.
Alive and kicking.
So Stanley, why did you keep this from us?
I mean, we all have secrets, don't we?
Not to me, not to really. I mean, the secret of how my inventions work, but you probably would not understand.
I mean, I don't really give a fuck who you are, Stan, but if you're a spy, what the fuck are you doing here?
Well, it's a very interesting story, and I'm glad you asked.
Oh, God. Fucking hell. Can we get the short version, please?
That was the sound of the pipe being puffed on, by the way.
Well, it ended up going a little sour closer to the end of the war. You see, I was sent over to spy on the Americans for the Germans, but in fact I was feeding German information to the Americans and American information to the Allies, and come the war's end I was hoping for my return ticket home, and what happened was your president wanted peace in our time, and the powers back home wanted reparations and land. So unfortunately I had to stay in your country feeding information back to the Allies to keep them on top, to keep the empire going, which I didn't do, of a sort. I fed information to just about anyone that would take it, and then I died, tragically. And Pierre went and set up his theatre down south, and that's when Detective Garrison found me. He knew who I was, he knew I was hunted by all the major powers of the war, and when he proposed working for him and getting a new identity for me, it was the first time I had some hope in a long time.
Peace be with you.
And then he disappeared, and I had my face burnt quite recently, you might remember, and I thought, I don't know if I'll survive this.
It's a good story.
I've been keeping it to myself for a while. I've had the chance to polish it a little. It's not as nice as I've made it sound.
Would I be remiss to say that you are a little bit addicted to a danger and getting yourself into terribly tight situations?
Well, here's the thing, old bean. It's not something I search for anymore. It's a tiring business.
And yet here you are, surrounded by cultists on a mysterious island.
It's just one last part to play.
It's at this point that you start to realize the train does seem to be slowing somewhat.
Ah, fuck.
You do notice that it is starting to head into the central business district. It has, as Daniel mentioned to you, it's only about a 20-minute train ride in. It's worth noting that, as you would well know now, there is somewhat of a police force, some sort of a law that is adhered to. You're about to enter onto a public space, even though there are, between here and the loading dock, several cultist bodies now splayed upon the ground. There is still a lot of blood on the train floor, a lot of blood on your faces, and worth noting, any potential clothing you could have changed into is now over the side of the train and on the ground, so it might be worth having a think about how you are going to exit the train and blend in.
So you found some water, did you, to put out that fire little thing?
I tossed all of what I had on the fire.
There's probably
Doesn't mean there's nothing in any of the other satchels.
There's probably some more water or something in those things. Let's just have a scourge and see what we can do.
All right, then make a luck roll for me,
Who, everyone?
if you're all looking.
I'm going to get some rags or some spare clothes from those cases. I'm sure they've got some clothes.
There's a few bits of loose clothing.
I'm just going
and
to make a quick job at getting the worst of the pools of blood up. Maybe we had a bit of a disagreement amongst ourselves that we sorted out.
I say we just... if anyone has any problems or we're unable to solve this, we just say that we're attacked.
Extreme success.
That is the truth.
extreme success.
Also success, but regular.
You find basically an entire pack that seems to be someone that you would regard them as a tourist. They've got bottles of water, they've got rags. There seems to actually be a little bit of cleaning material, or at least something that would constitute something that you could use with the water to kind of dilute it and do a good job of it. So as you bring that out and start to get to work on the ground, a lot of it does come up. You do a fair good job of it. I mean, it's not perfect, but for anyone kind of passing by along just on the platform, they wouldn't really notice.
They wouldn't look in the window and go, "Oh my god!" It's a very pulpy rush job. It's like, "Oh, we'll just tidy this up, yes, and done." Yes.
I mean, and
a comb.
What about ourselves? Do we still look pretty?
I mean, John's not very subtle at the moment. He is quite. To be honest,
I would say the priority for the cleaning stuff is us, not the floor.
Yes, I'll quickly help tidy up Mena because she's very bloody.
Mena is the worst for wear, not just from a blood standpoint, but she needs assistance to move at this point. She is she needs basically...
like there would be a few probably like gashes. I have first aid.
Do you want to like use the time maybe to quickly kind of give yourself a...
Yeah, while you guys are kind of cleaning and whatever.
I also give her the hip flask because I think seriously the smell, not only would a drink help, but the smell of alcohol on them might be a good ruse or a disguise.
Bit of a cover.
If anyone asks, just say we got into a little fight.
Few too many gins.
Just solve it by fisticuffs.
Just say you fell down on the train and hit your head.
Again and again and again.
On the walls and the floor.
It happens to some people.
Nah. I
very unlucky
fail
people.
First aid.
Does
anyone else have first aid or medicine?
I will give a medicine roll.
Yeah, go for it.
I will fail that medicine roll.
Can I give her first aid a go? I mean, I don't have it skilled.
So just remember that you do also, Father, you do have both pushing roll ability and luck ability. So if you do want to, at this point, basically, Mena's kind of reflexes and her impulses is to just push you away and to not really want anything to do with any medicine. She's a very proud woman.
Look, if I push the roll, you're going to get hurt more because it's a like that would be the appropriate punishment for a pushed first aid roll. Would be you take more damage.
Try to use the hammer.
And honestly, if you push the roll, what's most likely to happen is it becomes almost like a tussle, and Mena's most likely going to trip over her own feet and fall over, and there's going to be some harm done.
Yeah, so I'm not going to push the roll, and I'm not going to spend any luck because I don't have that much.
Yep.
I am going to make an unskilled first aid roll, though.
Absolutely.
Which I will also fail. If anyone else wants to make that, it's a 30% roll.
We can all give it a go.
Excuse me, out the way. Your bedside manner is a little bit lacking.
Just because I'm looming over her.
Success.
Yep. So Jörn kind of steps forward and takes kind of the medicine, the cloth, and from Father John, and he rushes forward, and you kind of just you impress it upon Mena. This absolutely needs to be done. You have to stand still, and it's more of like you lock eyes with it and go, just stay still.
Be a lot easier if you just stay still. I'm going to stop the bleeding one way or another.
And so I believe that's
you worry too much.
It is a D4.
2 hit points.
2 extra hit points for you.
You Norwegians ain't so bad, I guess. Come here, you. She's probably feeling a bit punch drunk.
She does need assistance to move. I will just point that out as the train comes to a halt and you hear the steam rise from the top of the engine and people from kind of carriages. You are lucky enough in the sense that the carriage just to your south, there was no one around. But other than that, people do start to kind of bustle to and from. No one's coming into your carriage at this point.
Water over the face, clean the blood off my face. There's a lot of blood, which means it'll wash off.
It's fresh.
It's fresh.
It's not like it's dried or anything.
No, it's not like
none of you are
wearing
wearing hats or anything, are you?
Nah.
No, that's fine.
It's a good thing we got rid of Lenny's hat. You'd have felt bad about that.
So as we exit the train, trying to sort of get into the crowd, can I look up and down and see if I can spy the last cultist?
Just before we do that, is there a chance that someone with high disguise might be able to make a tidy us up roll?
I don't have disguise.
I
can try.
Charm.
Do you have any?
I have 35.
That's good for a bit. Maybe
That's a very good idea.
I can spend 10 luck on it as well to give myself a bonus.
Well, roll first, but remember that your luck at this point is nearing 30.
That's a fail from
right.
me. Yeah,
that's all right. I thought it would. Right. If we might have like an extra jacket. Or
I think
something.
we can talk our way out of the situation.
Yeah,
I'm not going to spend any more luck.
I've got high intimidation.
Yeah,
and
we'll be right.
I got charm coming out the wazoo.
So it could always be, someone's like, whoa, what the fuck? She's just had a bit too much to drink. Yeah, fuck off, buddy.
So you start to move your way into the crowd.
Into the jump.
And as you're moving through, Jörn, you start to peer over, kind of peer past shoulders, see if you notice...
Using my extra height
Yep, you're,
over the crowd.
you're trying to look for black. You know that he was dressed all in black, and you know he was hurt. Mm-hmm. So go ahead and give me a roll.
Do I get a bonus die because he's hurt and I'm tall?
For as hurt as he is, I am tall.
Yeah, go ahead. Give it a shot.
43 over my spot hidden of 25.
So you fail.
Correct.
Look, as far as you see a few people dressed in black items of clothing, but you know
they've purposefully made themselves nondescript. Right?
Exactly,
So
and it could be maybe you saw him, but that doesn't look like that person's not hurt, or maybe that was him. You can't be sure. There's no way to tell. Everyone's walking with purpose. They've got places to be, people to see.
Is there an information kiosk or map of the town or local area on display in the station?
Not so much, to be perfectly honest. I mean, as far as you've been told from Daniel, the only two places that you have a passing knowledge of is you have the address for Joan's house.
Yes.
And you know that you're heading towards the library.
I think the town's clinic would be a good first stop. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm basically looking for information for.
You're looking for the clinic? You want to get yourself patched up?
Well, not so much me, but Mena has a very nasty gash below her eye.
You guys are right.
And she's stumbling slightly.
Sure. So maybe
She may have a concussion. Just
Concussion,
an inkling.
I barely know it.
Mena, that does not to make sense.
It's just our American humor. You wouldn't get it.
you probably just stop and ask someone, Jörn, you for example, is the one who is...
I'm holding her up at this stage.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you kind of come up to someone and ask them, is there a hospital? Is there a clinic? My friend is tripped over again and again and again and again.
Yes, that's
I'm
exactly
just
how I put it, yes.
Clumsy gal, what can I say?
And, this couple kind of look at you and just assumes that she's had a bit of a drunken night. And it's like, well, it's in her best interest to kind of go get some help anyway. So they kind of just point you, that they say if you're heading towards the middle of the CBD, you see where the buildings are kind of tallest, and then take a right down the road. You shouldn't be able to miss it. There's a nice little clinic there.
Come on, Mena. We
Now,
need to get you sorted out.
Are all of you heading there together, or
I mean, Stanley/Pierre could probably do with having his face less burnt.
Slightly.
Did we establish that it was first degree, so it's going to be noticeable still? And it's probably in need of
You're
treatment.
going to have like skin peeling. And
Yeah.
It's 2 points of damage worth of burns, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was only 2 points. You managed to shield your face from the majority of it, so it's predominantly superficial.
Okay.
It's got to sting a little
Could
bit.
do with a salve, maybe.
In game terms,
Ointment.
a night would heal you back up full.
Yeah.
It's a night's worth of damage.
Yeah, okay.
A good night's sleep will
So
rest you up.
Just
it
thinking about him
stings,
walking
but,
around with burns on his face, and
It could
That's
be.
not-
It could be bad sunburn.
That's
Yeah.
not out of the ordinary.
It's like a light scalding.
I guess my question to you is, knowing that you're facing a deadly cult that is looking to, and you've got a missing person potentially, are you all going off together to deal with a burn, or are you going to look at actually using your
want
time
to-
a little bit more effectively?
You
in
want
how
to split us up. I can tell. I can see what you're doing.
I don't want to do
Absolute
anything. I'm
swine.
just giving you your options.
I mean, if we do,
You've got a
then
city,
groups of
places
two
to
at the
be.
least.
Well, I definitely need to go to the library, but it is in Jörn's character to be caring and to look after his friend first. So whatever else is doing, I'm going to at least get Mena to the clinic.
I mean, you
I
could
mean, you wouldn't have to worry about it too much because, look, we're going to be okay. We're not going to drop anything suspicious.
Dude, you
okay,
just go
you-
back to being, oh, my head hurts, something bad. But you could always just, because obviously Stan and I need to go. So, like, at least, there's one who's okay in the head.
I want to see you dropped off, and I'm imagining
Yeah.
it's not a huge metropolis, so I could drop you off at the clinic and then get over to the library.
And you've also got Joan's place as well.
Yes, we got a little bit of searching to do, so I won't hold her hand while they're stitching her up because I imagine she's probably had stitches in the past.
Self-administered, probably.
Oh, yeah. Probably a lot less cleaner and...
Yeah, she doesn't need me to hold her hand, but I would like to see her there safe.
So you spend the next 10 minutes, you're heading towards the middle of the kind of
So
the
she
business
doesn't
district.
assault an orderly.
It's a surprisingly normal town. You wouldn't get the impression that you're on an island. There are cars around. You are seeing local shops. You do see office workers and scientists. Predominantly, it seems to be the kind of people that Daniel said that they were looking for. People of science, people of learning. But it's it's just like a day-to-day environment. Nothing out of the ordinary.
It's not sort of remote or deprived
No.
from the fact that it's on an island.
It doesn't seem like you'll be wanting for anything.
It's also not super techy, is it?
No.
Okay.
No. There are even houses clearly where people live in the city as well. So it's just a lot of money clearly has been thrown against this, but not in a sense of it being technologically advanced, just in the sense of there's a lot here. This is a remote island that clearly has everything at it. And as Daniel said, the Foundation has deep pockets. And this is clearly being shown here. And so you head towards, you eventually find the clinic itself. It's fairly small, modest, but as you head in, are you passing Mena off, or are you waiting to talk to a doctor? How are you looking to?
Well, I'll help her in, get her sat down, and turn to Stanley. Do you think the two of you will be okay?
I think we'll be fine.
I can take anyone.
Make sure she doesn't get into any more trouble if you can.
I think she's got to get past herself first, so we'll be fine, old boy.
And so a doctor has come up to you, and obviously they've just taken or what details you will give them, just get a bit of an idea on what you're there for, and just as you've sat them down, they'll be with you when there's time. That's where you're left at this point.
Sean, I just wanted to quickly ask.
Absolutely.
The knives that we took from the guys,
Yes.
what sort are they? Are they large, medium, or small?
They are small knives.
Small knives.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys can have those.
Little concealable daggers.
Little switchblades.
Dull knives.
Thingo, Stanley has one already, so
You've got one.
Yeah.
It'll be Jern.
I'll take a
Mia.
knife.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can have a look at the numbers and write them into your sheet.
Sure.
So that next time combat runs around, you're not like searching for it.
Father, I might need your expertise, though, in the library while we have a look at these coordinates.
Aye, of course, yeah. That's. I think we've got Mia sorted. You'll see a doctor soon.
Are you here? Oh, fuck.
If you finish up here, we'll be in the library, and perhaps we can visit Joan's place of residence together after.
Yeah.
that would be wonderful.
We'll meet you there.
Don't fall asleep.
Don't fucking tell me what
No, rest assured, no one has ever fallen asleep in the company of Pierre Pathétique.
You are a very confusing man to be around.
Au revoir, friends.
So as far as the layout of a CBD is concerned, you actually know from where you are now, you're on kind of the northwest side so from the center of the CBD. So the hospital that you're at was just northeast if you're starting from the center. And you know that the library is heading towards the west side of the central business district.
And Joan's house?
Joan's house is in between there.
All right, well, we should swing by Joan's house first, rather than going straight to the library. If
Joan's
house is closer.
Okay, let's go there then. We'll convey that instead.
Yeah.
I can't wait to go to Jean's house. I can't wait to meet them there later.
Oh, it's going to be so fun.
It's the highlight for me of the day.
God damn it. This is great for someone with a concussion.
And so John and Jern. Jern and John and Jern.
Need to get the sound.
Both of you head off down the street. As you're walking down, the other thing that becomes rather apparent is the police presence. And there are officers in similar garb to what you saw back at the loading dock, more militaristic.
They're pretty hardcore, the police here, are they?
Not in the way they conduct themselves. They are more casual. They're not alert,
it's
ready at
more
all
to do
times.
with the gear that they have.
Yes,
Yeah, so
exactly.
they have like armored vests on even?
Yeah, you've got like the
okay.
armored vest underneath, combat boots, but other than that, it's just kind of cargo.
And what kind of
pants?
how are they armed?
Some you do find that they do have holsters, and
Yeah.
there is pistols.
They have pistols,
there's
yeah.
kind of small guns that are on there. They are armed.
Yeah,
And
but
that
none of
much
them
is
have
clear.
like larger weapons, like
No,
automatic
they're not carrying
weapons.
around semi-automatic
No,
weapons.
It's not.
They're
yeah.
not like Bond henchmen.
They're not showing their aggression through their conduct. It's as if you're just seeing another person walk down the street, but it's clear who they are.
Yeah, but there's a lot of them.
Not a lot. It's just enough to be noticeable. You do no different to any normal.
Can I make a
city.
no roll
Absolutely.
to estimate how? Because you said there were 30 at the docks. For a city, I'm estimating, which is a small town, which is probably about between 500 and 2,500, roughly.
Let's say that.
An estimate. Do I think that the 30 police that we saw on the docks were all pulled from active duty and were sent there, or if there's more here, like whether I'm doing a no roll to estimate how many police there are or how many
Sure.
of these soldier types there are in this city. That's a pass.
You get the impression that if there was a small uprising or if there was a riot of sorts, let's say a fight gets out of hand during the night, the police force aren't going to be overwhelmed.
They have a small army.
Yeah.
Ish.
It's like maybe 100 or 200.
200 is way too much. You're
Okay.
probably looking more like the 50 to 100 range. Basically, it's not unreasonable to assume, based on the primary function of Ambrosia Island, that people weren't pulled from the city to be at the dock. That's where they are.
Jesus.
That
That's
is
a lot of cops.
That is what they are responsible for, is the things that come in, the things that come out, and the people that come in and out. It's
So
of
what-
primary importance to the island.
So what comes in and out of the dock requires a lot
A
of
lot of
people.
fucking soldiers.
Yeah.
That's.
yeah.
I think that's effectively like a small garrison.
Yeah.
Like that's an army garrison. I
Yeah.
think is 100 people. Jeez. Okay, that's a lot.
It's a bit of benign science they're doing here, obviously.
I'd say that whatever they're doing here is a word for concern, regardless.
And from what you understand is that most people don't know about Ambrosia Island. Most people don't know about the Foundation.
Yeah.
But
So who are they defending from?
Yeah, that's right.
exactly.
I think the UK and the Americans might want to invade this
Yeah.
place and remove it.
But the father, you were saying you're a bit concerned. I mean, were you not concerned by the cultists and the magic flame before?
I that's all part and parcel of what we do.
All in a day's work, I
All in a
suppose.
day's work.
Oh, look. I think this is the street where
you are
John's house
heading-
was on.
You are heading down. You start to notice that it gets a little bit more residential at this point, and there is a fair amount of thin apartment blocks. Very kind of, the way I like to think of it is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, when they meet up and there's those very thin apartment Ellen's.
Yeah.
buildings.
I'm
Sort
with
of
you.
like
Townhouses?
Yeah,
Yeah,
townhouses.
the houses that they have in the Netherlands, like in Amsterdam, they're very narrow,
Yes.
very tall.
Yeah. And you know, based on the information given to you by Daniel, that Joan was on the 4th floor of this particular townhouse.
All right, well, we'll head in.
Yep.
If
So
we can.
you head up the stairs, go in. It is unlocked. There's
Oh, great.
Nice.
Nice.
As in the
The
front
apartment
door,
bu-
the
the
apartment
apartment
building
buildings.
is
Yeah, cool.
unlocked.
Okay.
And as you head up the stairs, once again, it's not made of money, but it's not rickety. It's not like derelict and downtrodden. It's
Well, they're
just-
not looking to sell the houses to anyone, right?
No,
So
exactly.
it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be flash, but
So
it's
we'll-
well built.
We'll go to the front door
Yep.
of her apartment or her space.
absolutely. And this one is locked.
We're on the 4th floor.
Yes.
How many other are on this floor?
On this floor, there are 5.
5. Okay.
5 apartments.
Yeah.
So they would be roomy-ish.
It does look. They do look quite close together, so this doesn't look like a spacious apartment.
Sure.
This looks quite small.
You would only want 1 or 2 people. It's not a place to
Absolutely.
raise children.
Correct.
Okay,
yes.
cool.
Yeah.
All right.
And I mean, presumably, if this is if she was invited to Ambrosia Island, this is a place that would have been either provided for her or chosen specifically for her.
Thinking large uni apartments.
Yeah, all this stuff's like purpose built for these people, right? So, do we see anyone else in the apartment block as we go up the stairs? Do we hear any noises?
You pass one person down as you're heading up the stairs. One person comes down. They give you a nice little just kind of nod. They don't think
good
anything
day,
of it.
yeah.
It's, you know,
Nod back.
you both don't look really out of the ordinary. This particular person looks like a scientist that's just coming down, dressed and ready to go, shirt tucked into his beige pants, and he's got a little briefcase in hand.
So Daniel didn't provide us a key.
Daniel doesn't have access to
Okay.
his house. There's an understanding of privacy anyway.
All right,
we
so
let ourselves in.
well, let's see if the door's locked.
The door is absolutely locked.
Cool, let's let ourselves in.
So you already have used the auto lock once. I'm going to say that it isn't an automatic success. You
This
are looking to
this
roll.
one's a bit more
You're
complicated.
looking to roll under a 90.
86.
I mean, it does work. So you
I have to
kind of-
recalibrate it slightly. Maybe.
Yeah, you pull out from your bag, and John, this is the first time you've seen the auto lock device as well. It's the first time I think you've seen one of Hjern's devices in use, and so he kind of fiddles with it. Does this use one of the vials?
Anything that has sort of a power uses the power source. Yeah.
A bit of a few extra sparks that are kind of flowing from this device as it's in use. Something that you potentially didn't notice before, but attribute that to the unstable nature of the.
Of the power source, which I
power
don't
source that
fully
uses it.
understand yet.
But you kind of lock it into place, let it do its thing with a few bits of whirring and a few sparks, and then pop! The door comes open and it creaks.
So I also, as I withdraw the lockpick, I hold it up and go,
And you flick it.
Try and do a little flick. Whoa. Catch it and put it in my bag.
John will stay still while that happens and just looks at you, just eyeballs you, just in a, okay, cool. That was...
Sorry, I was just going
All
on
right, then,
impulse.
let's do this thing.
Okay.
So you
John will pull out his knife.
you pull out your knife,
After you.
He'll slowly push open the door.
and the door creaks ever so slightly open. Roll to Cast Ambrosia Island is a Baby Beard Media production. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and all our podcasts are on Spreaker, Spotify, YouTube, and all good podcatchers. You can support us on Patreon at www.patreon.com/babybeard. Pulp Cthulhu and all associated properties are trademark of Chaosium Inc. Used with permission.
You've been listening to a Robots Radio podcast. Smart shows for interesting people. Check out all the shows at robotsradio.net.
Do you like adventure?
Yeah.
Do you like laughing?
Yeah.
Would you like to listen to a group of people you don't know play D&D and reference retro pop culture you vaguely remember? Excellent. You're going to love Committee Quest. We play D&D in the world of Amarin. We use adventure modules and supplements made by people in the community. We also have a sweet synthwave backing track. Come and join us on our adventure. Volume 1 has been completed. Volume 2 coming the end of January. You can find us on iTunes, Podbean, or wherever you get your podcasts from.